I have a great story time about a wedding where the groom entered with his groomsmen doing a fancy dance. Aloha, I'm Hawaii wedding officiant Kim Cronella, and it was amazing. The groom and his groomsmen lined up. They all had their arms outstretched on each other's shoulder, and they did this like arm movements and these dance movements as they're dancing into the groom song and the groomsmen song. The first two groomsmen, they kind of stood out because they had on these fancy fanny packs, and the other groomsmen were just all in suits and they did not have fanny packs. So after they did their little dance, the two in the front, they peeled off, and they each side of the aisle, one of them stood, and then the groomsmen came down from where the groom was, picked up one of the bridesmaids, and then escorted her down the aisle. And as they passed the fanny pack guys, they reached in their fanny pack and they started throwing confetti, and it looked great. It was like an explosion. And the couples, the groomsmen and the bridesmaid, they did a little dance, like they twirled the girls, the groomsmen twirled the girls, and each of the groomsmen and bridesmaid had their own little like secret handshake that they did at the very end, just before they each went their separate ways to the side of the aisle that they were going to stand on during the ceremony. And then as the groom made his entrance, he was the last one before the bride. He came down and he stood right before, like he passed the guys with the fanny packs, and then he stood right after them, and then just this explosion of confetti came out, and it must have looked amazing in the photos. And then he took his spot next to me at the where the ceremony spot was, and then the bride made her entrance. And that was just super cool. I mean, from having the fanny pack guys, the confetti boys, I have heard of like bubble people, bubble boys, instead of having a flower girl. But this was the first time I saw confetti boys with their fancy fanny packs, and then having just the whole dancing, and then the bridesmaid and the groomsmen all dancing together, and it was just super cool. It made for a very fun atmosphere, and you can tell that the couple and all of their friends are really tight. So that was just a fun story time. It was a fun wedding to be a part of, and something you might want to incorporate into your ceremony. I'm sure they practiced it. I mean, I could even see the guys before the ceremony. They were like kind of practicing it roughly. So I bet that they had practiced it a bit, but it looked really cool. I'd seen things like that on TikTok before, but I've not had a wedding like ever have a dance entrance before. I like it. Thanks for watching. If you're coming to the island of Oahu and want to get married, you don't have to do that. I love being part of those weddings, but if you just want a simple ceremony or any kind of wedding anywhere on the island of Oahu, contact me. I'm wedding officiant Kim Cronella. My website's weddingsonoahu.com, and I have lots of helpful tips on getting married on the island of Oahu, as well as unique suggestions for honeymoon activities that once you're married, you can celebrate your marriage and enjoy some fun activities as a couple. Thanks for watching, and aloha!